Hello everyone. I am glad to have an opportunity to present our paper. I am Professor, Department of Distribution Management in Dongmyeong University. My name is Chae-Kwan and my graduate student is Bong. From now, I will start a presentation. The title is a study on the effect of management service quality on recommended intention of high-rise apartment in China. The contents of a presentation is as follows. The first is introduction, and second is the theoretical background. It's a literature review. And third is research design and research method. And fourth is empirical analysis. And last is the conclusion and the suggestion. Chapter 1 is introduction. In the 1990s, the use of a high-rise building in China was mainly used for business and commercial functions, but recently it has been developed for complex uses such as hotel and apartment due to economics and functional considerations. High-rise residential complex apartments that have recently been built in the metropolitan area within China are precious residential spaces for residents, not only offering differences and advanced convenience, but also maintaining a somewhat higher price and properties, especially as the entire society is being converted into the service centers economy and its subsequent competition mount. Even in the case of building maintenance, demand for some advanced service has increased. Accordingly, the necessity for policies in the field of building maintenance emerged that improve the quality of property maintenance service and increase customer satisfaction on all kind of management service. Despite of such a practical necessity, however, the empirical study as to the management service of high-rise residential complex apartment is not very active. This study investigates the characteristics of consumer choice behavior by surveying residents of a high-rise residential complex in the Chinese metropolitan area and examine their attitudes, experience, and cognitive behavior about the management service of high-rise residential complex. With this study examines residential satisfaction and recommendation intention on the complex through the aspect of residential use. This study used in the examining of various literature not only domestically but globally and extended its focus on the pursuit of theoretical based on the characteristics of service, degree of satisfaction, and recommendation intent by looking up the existing materials. Moreover, it compares the three elements on the quality of the management service: environment quality, process quality, and the result qualities. Additionally, it analyzes the influence and the relationship between the variables in terms of correlations of variable leading to recommendation intention. Chapter 2 is the theoretical background. High-rise structure. The history of high-rise building beginning from the late 19th century span around 100 years to the end of the 20th century. On account that the term high-rise implies a literal relative concept, it cannot be reduced to a uniform definition. In other words, buildings regarded as high or high-rise ones may be considered ordinary. Furthermore, a single definition of height of kind can be relative, making buildings seen differently according to the states, cities, and the scholar studying in the area. Today, the commonly used standard to indicate whether building is high-rise or not is based on the definition of city BUH, the Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat. According to the standards, high-rise buildings is defined as a building have a height of 20 meters or more, or 50 stories or more, or a ratio of the bottom and the height of 1.15 or more, and one determined by existence to lateral load resistance systems. The second is the status of a high-rise building in China. Thanks to the rapid growth of urbanized population, China has been building world-class buildings more than any other country on the planet. As of 2018, China has 3,867 high-rise buildings that meet of definition of Chinese Building Act. There are 2,575 buildings over 100 meters in height, and 1,862 buildings over 115 meters, and 678 buildings over 200 meters, and 68 buildings over 300 meters. Among these, the building of the 150 meters accounts for much more than any other country in the world. The second, the quality of management service. The quality of service has intangible ambiguities different from the tangible objects such as product. However, in association with the characteristics of service, the service quality does not deviate from the basic direction of the modern quality control, the consistency between the quality of service and the customer satisfaction. Therefore, the quality of service is generally defined not as a concept of the objective quality, but that of subjective quality, and can be defined by the meaning of perceived service qualities by consumer. In this study, the quality of management service is the customer-oriented concept that measures the customer perception, which is defined as the attitude of management service and the satisfaction level of a customer who encounters a series of service processes. On the basis of such definition, the study composed the several factors of management service quality with environment quality, process quality, and the result quality. and analyzed their influence relationship between the residents' satisfaction. The first, resident satisfaction. Today, the most noted marketing concept in the various fields is customer satisfaction. It is believed that customers who are satisfied with the organization's product and service will bring more profit to the companies. On the other hand, at least two requirements must be met to increase customer satisfaction. The first starts with providing quality products and service that can meet customer expectations from the beginnings. It is necessary to supply products faster and provide better service at lower price, even though they are of good quality. The second, effectively and thoroughly dealing with customer complaints is required. In the end, customer satisfaction management is the management method that continuously meets these above two requirements and secures a competitive advantage that cannot be imitated by other companies. Last, intention of recommendations. As you know, recommendation, when viewed from the perspective of consumer response, is closely related to the behavior after purchase as well as to customers' information acquisition and his or her purchase. Because word of mouth can affect the purchase and the user experience by delivering customer satisfaction or dissatisfaction to others after purchase. The message from the customers has a considerable influence. The reason that positive word of mouth is important among the customers' reactions are following. First, positive word of mouth is related to one-on-one exchange and has a great effect compared to other exchange. Secondly, because word of mouth is not created by companies, but it has a source or consumer, it is understood as a more reliable source of information. Lastly, a behavior of complaining is done only to sellers, and the relevant word of mouth has a characteristic of spreading rapidly to many people around them. Therefore, the main determinants of two word of mouth behavior are satisfaction and dissatisfaction felt by customers. The Chapter 3 is research design. The first, research object and the research model. In order to carry out this study, a survey was conducted on the residents of high-rise residential complex located in the metropolitan area in China. The questionnaire of survey consists of three parts: management service quality, satisfaction, and the intention of recommendation. The questionnaire questions about variable except demographic characteristics was composed of a Likert 5-point interval scale. In these studies, a research model was set up as shown in Figure 2. To examine the impacts of the management service quality as independent variables on satisfaction and the behavioral intention based on literature research and precedents. As is shown in the picture, independent variables are environment quality, process quality, and result quality. And the mediating variable is residents' satisfaction, And the last dependence variable is recommended intentions. Research hypothesis. This study set up the following hypothesis based on the present that management service quality of a high-rise apartment has an effect on resident satisfaction and the intention of a recommendation. First hypothesis, the quality of management service will have a positive effect on satisfaction of residents. 1-1, environment quality will have a positive impact on the residents' satisfaction. 1-2, process quality will have a positive impact on the residents' satisfaction. 1-3, the result quality will have a positive impact on the residents' satisfaction. And the second hypothesis is the satisfaction on the part of residents living in a high-rise apartment will have a positive effect on the intention of a recommendation. The survey for the empirical analysis of this study was conducted for about 3 months from December 2019 to February 2020 for those who have lived in high-rise apartment in China. Number of questionnaire is 265. 265 copies of questionnaire were collected through the online questionnaires method, and 240 copies were finally used for analysis, excluding 25 copies that were insincere. The measurement of variable was made by a 5-point scale. On environment quality is 6 item. Process quality is 6 item, and result quality is 5 item, and residential satisfaction is 7 items. At last, intention of recommendation items is 4, and the general item is 7 items. It's nominal scales. And the SPSS 25 version was used for statistical process for the analysis on the data surveyed. Frequency analysis was conducted to the identify of general characteristics of subject, and reliability analysis and the factor analysis were conducted to verify the reliability and validity of measurement tools using the empirical studies. And multiple regression analysis was also utilized to examine the research hypotheses. And the chapter 4 is empirical analysis, and the first general status of data. Shown, you can see the table 3. The data characteristics is as follows. When result characteristics are viewed after analyzing the general status of data, Pori, the gender is the Pori 48.3% of the male and 51.7% of female were shown in the data. The age of 40s was most with 50 9.6%, and the province is the Shandong province with 48.8%. And the education academic background is the more 4 years. 4 years college graduate is the 30.4%, and the occupation, the job is the office work or public servant with 28.8%, and so on. Analysis on the reliability and the validity of measurement variables. You can see the table 3. The study used the Cronbach alpha coefficients showing the interval consistency of the data in order to analyze of the reliability of the measurement tools. In addition, factor analysis was conducted to verify the validity of measurement items. The factor analysis was performed by using the Varimax rotations method by the principal's component analysis, and only factor with the eigenvalue of 1.0 or more were analyzed. As shown in table 4, Cronbach alpha value is shown the more than 0.9 for each factor, so it is analyzed to be reliable. In addition, the factor analysis result shown the 5 factors were derived, and the expectation percentage of the whole factor was 83.7%. At the result of a hypothesis, in these studies, regression analysis is made to identify the relationship between management service quality, satisfaction, and the recommendation intention of high-rise residential complex apartments in China. The result of hypotheses are as follows. First, the result of hypothesis is that quality management of a high-rise apartment will have a positive effect on the satisfaction of residents, is as shown table 5, and the result of hypothesis 2 that the resident satisfaction in the research model will have a positive effect on the recommendation intentions are as follows in table 6. The first result of variance analysis for statistical significance verification of the regression coefficient show the significance probability value is the 0.000, which is meaningful with the value of the significance level 0.01. The result of a multiple regression analysis show that environmental quality, process quality, and result quality under the management service quality of a high-rise apartment have a statistically significant positive effect on resident satisfaction. So all hypotheses are accepted. And second, the result of hypothesis 2, as a result of a simple regression analysis, the residential satisfaction with a high-rise apartment had a statistically significant positive effect on the intention of recommendation. And the second hypothesis is accepted too. As you can see from the research result, all of the hypotheses were accepted. And last, conclusion. This study is empirically examine how the quality of management service as environmental quality and process quality and the result quality is received by the resident of high-rise residential complex of China affect the satisfaction of the residents and how the satisfaction of the residents affect of the recommendation intention. The result and the implications are as follow this study. As a result of empirical analysis, environment quality, process quality, and result quality as a sub-factor of management service quality of high-rise apartment in China have a significant effect on the satisfaction of occupants. Furthermore, it is thought that the occupants' satisfaction has a significant effect on the recommendation intention. Also, it is shown that the process quality, the standardization coefficient at the beta is 0.363 and result quality beta is 0.306. And last, environment quality, the beta is 0.200. Among the service quality factors had great influence in their order. Such a result as analysis is similar to those in the existing research on service quality, and it is the result showing that the process of offering the service has a great impact on residential satisfaction. Therefore, in order to improve the satisfaction of the residents of a high-rise apartment and to drive positive attitudes and follow-up behaviors, it can be said that it is important to give priority to paying attention to residents' requirements and taking a quick and friendly treatment of them rather than focusing on making efforts to improve the physical environment quality, and its result increase of quality. However, this study has a limitation of its scope and the sample because it confirmed its survey into the limit period and some specific area in China. Therefore, it seems to necessary to expand the scope of survey in order to overcome these limitations and to continue to study the various conditions of the residents, such as development of measurement items, practically reflecting the characteristics of residents in high-rise apartment. Thank you for listening.